University campus and the statue of University founder James Buchanan Duke outside of the chapel here in Durham, North Carolina. Ready for the Food Lions starting lineups. And for Wake Forest, the sophomore Bryant Crawford on Tuesday at Clemson in a losing effort, 25 points, and he had three three-pointers in that loss for Wake. Jason Tatum, the freshman, has been outstanding. At Virginia on Wednesday, 28 points and a season high for Jason Tatum. He and his teammates trying to turn back Wake Forest. Damn, we got a shark and who knows what else in the house today.
Well, you never know what you have in the house here, but one thing you're sure you have in the house is a Duke team that is playing as well as it has played all year, primarily because they're finally healthy. I'm not sure that Emil Jefferson is 100% yet, but he's better than he has been.
The happy birthday hat for Coach K, which was on Monday. His 37th year on the bench for the Blue Devils and 42nd all-time. Most wins in one school with 991 here in Durham. Ready for the opening tap. And Wake Forest will control it first.
Duke starts out in the man-to-man. The last time these two teams played, Wake attacked effectively. Duke fouled 30 times, and there's that screen and roll. Exactly what we were talking about. John Collins rolls to the basket. Easy play.
John Collins, who averages 18.5 points per game, 7th best in the conference, and he leads the way for Wake Forest.
He's got 9 straight games where he scored at least 20.
The floater up and good. Matt Jones ties it up.
I think the odds are, Tom, we're going to see a very high-scoring game today.
Crawford aggressively attacking the rim, and it bounces out. He gets it right back, and Crawford will lay it in.
Well, that's one way to do it. Mike Krzyzewski can't be very pleased about that. Crawford missed the dunk. That's one of those where you got to do a little floater, but then he immediately recovered and stole the ball.
Jerry Heater has the whistle. He's joined by Tony Green and Jamie Lucky and the officiating crew.
See, Crawford does a great job of attacking the basket, but again, that's one he's just trying to do too much. Not too much there, though. Follows the ball, takes it, scores easily. Picked up the foul down on this end, however.
The Blue Devils are 21-5 this season, 9-4 in conference play. They've won 3 in a row on their home court. Allen kicks it out.
That's a tough matchup for Middleglue. He's trying to guard Tatum.
Kennard trying to shake his defender, and the foul goes against Kennard, his first.
Did that little push. He does a great job with that step back. That time he just shot that arm out there a little too far. And right in front of the referee. There's that left arm, goes right out. Hits in the chest of the defender, and the referee standing right there is going to call that one a foul every time.
Kennard found some foul trouble the first time they met. There is no trouble there as John Collins is living up on the cylinder so far.
The second half of the last game, Wake Forest played a little tentatively against that very mild Duke pressure. Not that time, though. They took the ball right up, attacked, and made Duke pay.
Big win on the road on Wednesday for Duke at Virginia, and the three is good, and it's Tatum.
Well, he made 6 of 7 against Virginia, so he just picks up right where he left off.
Those 6 made threes in that game against the Cavs, a season high for Jason Tatum. Back to Duke. Jefferson, he got that pass from Grayson Allen for 2.
Grayson Allen did a great job waiting to make sure that John Collins was covering him, and that meant that Emil Jefferson was open, and he found it.
Wake lost on Tuesday at Clemson, 95-83. Did shoot the ball well, though, 51% as a team from the floor.
Now, Wake has had problems on the defensive end and with turnovers.
A driving bucket from Keyshawn Woods.
And now I think that attack mode is what they have to do. Duke not a particularly deep team. You drive the ball to the basket, see if you can get the Blue Devils in foul trouble.
Woods is one of 3 Wake starters averaging in double figures. And the Geeks have a 1-point lead for the moment, and no longer. Kennard from beyond the arc.
Duke is making better than 10 three-point baskets per game during this 6-game winning streak. You have got to get out there and cover that three.
Nobody shoots it better percentage-wise from beyond the arc than Luke Kennard, and Crawford comes back with a three of his own, Dan.
You got to take open shots when you get them. You got to be careful, though, if you take them that early in the shot clock before the defense has been moved around. If you miss it, Duke might be able to get out and go, but I think if it's open, you got to take it.
10 shots between the teams so far, just a single miss. Jefferson had to kick it out. Allen straight away.
See Duke really getting back on defense. They're very concerned about Wake Forest's ability to get down the court quickly.
This is Collins working against two defenders. Jefferson swatted it away out of bounds, and Duke basketball.
We talked about three-point shooting. Wake has to prevent Duke from making them. They got to make some themselves. Crawford hits it here. Wake up by 1. But the thing with Luke Kennard is he has been Duke's rock all year long. He's the guy who has been consistently good for the Duke Blue Devils throughout the season. And as Duke has gotten healthy and their play has picked up, he has been just as valuable.
Kennard has now gone 30 straight games with a made three. Tries to work in the paint and hits.
And that's the thing about Kennard. He can use either hand.
Averages.
He doesn't have blazing speed, but he knows how to get open for that shot.
Yeah, just a shade under 20 points per game for Kennard, which is second best in the conference. Crawford wants three.
See, that's not a good shot. You just dribble around and shoot the three. If he misses, this is exactly what's going to happen.
Basket will not count, and the foul will be on a driving Tatum.
Mike Krzyzewski very upset with that particular call, but you've got to give some credit to Crawford here. He gets back and he's waiting for Tatum. Not a lot of contact there, but he ran over him while he was standing there waiting. He hit him. He tried to get around, but if there's that kind of contact in that situation, I'm not sure you have any choice as an official except to blow the whistle.
Tatum was determined to get to the rim. 4 Wake defenders were back. Didn't stop him, but he picked up the offensive foul. This is Dinos Mitoglou. That's a three. Right to Collins and a reset. Childress. Another miss from three, Dan.
I'm not sure that's... I think multiple guys for Wake have to touch it on every position before you take that through.
That'll stay down for Tatum with the jumper.
And again, Tom, not to beat a dead horse here, but you take the quick three and you miss it. That allows Duke to get down in transition and score before you can get your defense really set.
5 points now for Tatum. Collins a little too deep. Jefferson was guarding him along with Tatum.
Traveling violation.
Back to Duke.
Now here Wake has the ball with a fresh shot clock, and Brandon Childress just likes to rise up and shoot it. It doesn't go in the basket, and look here, Duke pushes it up the court quickly. The Wake defense is still getting organized. Mitoglou trying to guard Tatum out there is a difficult matchup.
Kennard on the drive. Pulled down by Collins. Wake started the game 5 of 6 from the floor. Since then 0 for 4 and a foul on a driving Crawford.
Crawford seems intent on pushing the ball and attacking. And I think for the most part that's a good idea. You have to be under control though as you do that.
Wake is 1 for 4 from three-point distance. They are one of the better three-point shooting teams. 3rd in the conference on the season for the Demon Deacs. Although they have come up empty on their last few possessions, but now a foul against the Blue Devils. It's going to be against Giles.
Tom, you make a good point, but the Duke three-point defense is the best in the conference. They hold opponents under 30%.
Inside, Mitoglou going high off the glass.
See, and I think that's a hard matchup for Tatum. Mitoglou is at a disadvantage on the defensive end, and Wake has to get the ball inside to Middleglue on the offensive end to allow him to use his size against Tatum on the interior.
First basket for Middleglue. Trying to stay with Tatum. Little bit over aggressive and a foul against Middleglue. Haviland giving you a chance to attend this year's New York Life ACC tournament. Airfare, accommodations, and tickets to every game for you and a guest, all courtesy of Haviland. Enter today at theacc.com/Haviland. Kennard, quick trigger. Collins, Giles, and Collins runs it down.
Collins is a great rebounder.
How about Childress with an extra gear? Middleglue wide open for the tap, and Wake has taken a 1-point lead.
Middleglue was just in the right place because he ran the court. 3 Duke players went after the ball. Nobody stayed to block out Middleglue.
Shot clock is down to 7.
Crawford's hurt. Crawford has done something to his shoulder. He's standing out of the play.
Matt Jones hit a jumper in the process, and you can see Crawford clutching that left shoulder area.
He reached in to try to steal the ball. Jackson stumbled, and Crawford tries to go get it. Watch, Jackson stumbles here. Watch Crawford come in. Looks like he got his arm tangled up with Jackson's arm, and oh my. That does not look good.
So Crawford, who is without question a key component of this Wake Forest lineup, has to go to that bench for evaluation.
Well, Crawford is their second leading scorer, and he's the guy that, you know, he's big and strong on defense. They're going to miss him.
It's going to be a foul on Grayson Allen. You know, in addition to that, Dan, he averages almost 6 assists per game to facilitate that offense, but right now he's sitting on the bench.
Well, and the other thing he does is he gets to the free throw line and makes free throws. You know, he's a guy who attacks the basket. Of course, Collins leads him in free throw makes and attempts, but Crawford is a guy who creates situations where he gets to the line drawing fouls.
Keyshawn Woods is at the line right now.
To have both Collins and Crawford out of the game, and Crawford's headed to the locker room.
Well, Crawford had his career high, Dan, when the teams met earlier this year. He had 26 points and made all 15 of his free throw attempts, but right now back to the dressing room for more evaluation for Brian Crawford.
Yeah, that was some interesting statistical game. He only made 5 field goals total, only one of them a 3-point basket, but he scored 26 points because he made 15 free throws. And now Childress picks up a foul. He's got his hands on Jackson. You know, you want to be aggressive on the defense end, but you have to be aggressive without fouling.
7 lead changes, a couple of ties. This is Allen on the drive. He hits the deck.
That's Trent Van Horn in the game.
Trent Van Horn, not a whole lot of action this season, Dan. He's appeared in 16 games, but averages less than a point and a rebound per. That's an easy layup. As Harry Giles getting free for his first basket, and now Crawford has come back to the bench and to the scorer's table to check in.
Well, no sense having that guy sit over there. Oh, that's a great drive by Childress. And we talked about Wake needs to be aggressive. Childress recognizes he's got a mismatch, just beats Giles out on the perimeter.
Vote at theacc.com/live vote. Polls will remain open until halftime, Dan Bonner.
Mike Krzyzewski not happy with the way his team is defending. You know, this is a guy, as we showed you, he's 70 years old. Just coming back from back surgery, but he's handling that chair pretty effectively.
Coach K missed 7 games with the back surgery. Came back for the February 4th game against Pittsburgh. Jeff Capel went 4-3 as the acting head coach for Duke. Jefferson backing in, got his defender in the air and lays it in.
You cannot, if you're Wake Forest, go to help, because if you go to help, Jefferson's a pretty good passer. He finds an open 3-point shooter. So Darrell Moore's on his own.
How about Jefferson? 140th game in a Duke uniform, defending Moore, and Duke has it with Tatum. Blue Devils right around 67% shooting. Trying to improve on that mark. Kennard offensive glass against two defenders. Arians deflected the pass. Kennard blocked by Moore. Taken back by Jefferson.
Yeah, it's a pretty good defense by Wake, except they don't have the ball. You got to get the ball.
Allen misses. Moore has an easy rebound.
Well, you talked about Duke's shooting the ball pretty effectively. They damaged those numbers badly on that particular sequence. On what they missed, 4 shots.
Childress gets away from Allen.
So he was off balance. He might have been trying to get that up quickly. There was some contact there, and he might have been trying to shoot the ball so he could draw a shooting foul. You have to attack Duke, but you have to be able to do it by showing some patience in situations where patience is called for.
Jefferson trying to spin on Moore. Does not get the bounce. Crawford back into the game, had to leave. Went back to the dressing room for an apparent shoulder injury, but has returned. Moore has to kick it out. All the way to the rim, almost untouched, and it's Van Horn. Dan, I have that as Trent Van Horn's second made field goal of the season.
It's his first made field goal in ACC play. He's now got 4 points in ACC play.
It was like he was in a layup line. There was nobody around him.
Well, now if you're going to help off somebody, wouldn't you help off him?
Kennard the miss. Jefferson pumps it up on the cylinder. Six points for Jefferson. He is the leading scorer for Duke in the first half.
The last time these two teams played, Duke had 12 offensive rebounds. You simply cannot give the Blue Devils extra opportunities.
Moore has an extra opportunity.
Well, Moore is 7'1" and has those exceedingly long arms. And he gets that close to the basket, he's hard to contain.
Kennard wide open.
It's just hard to, if you help inside against Luke Kennard, it's just hard to rotate back. If you help inside off Luke Kennard, I should say, it's just hard to rotate back in time.
8 points and a couple of threes for Kennard. A slashing drive by Crawford. Moore tried to rip the rim off the backboard. Childress with a wicked crossover. Jefferson was there to contest the shot. Tatum collides with Van Horn, and he hit the court hard.
Tatum never really controlled that ball in transition. If he did, he could have passed it to Kennard. Boy, he beats Crawford out there, but never really gets the ball back under control. But Van Horn is all tied up against Jefferson inside. Nobody's guarding Kennard, and if you're going to leave somebody for Duke alone, it should not be Luke Kennard.
So Van Horn to the bench with a couple of personal fouls, and Kennard, these teams played at Wake in late January, 34 points, and as we told you, 30 in the second half, and he didn't miss from three-point range, 6 of 6. A jumper that the Deeks needed from Keyshawn Woods, and he's got 6.
Wake has had their best success when they've been able to push the ball up the court before Duke can set the defense.
Tied at 26. 7:35 to go in the first half. Tom Werby, Dan Bonner, and our ACC Network production crew with you from Durham and Cameron Indoor Stadium. Jackson behind the line for 3.
Right now, you can't guard that. Childress was as close to him as I think it was advisable to be. And that's what Duke has been doing during this 6-game winning streak.
First basket for Jackson is a 3.
When you make open shots and you make tough shots, you're hard to guard.
Collins gets the shot away. Tatum came in over the top of Woods. And Tatum picks up his second.
And we said Wake doing pretty well in transition. Woods hit it there, but what's Duke's answer? Well, you got a defender right in your face. You knock it down. Duke up by 3.
This Bojangler fish fillet sandwich is officially my favorite sandwich. I'm dolphinitely ordering this.
Diagnosed with ALS, father of Jeff Capel, assistant on the Duke staff, and what a great gesture by Coach K and his staff to have Coach Capel join them today, Dan.
Jeff Capel is such a good basketball coach, great guy. We wish him all the best.
We get to work with his other son, Jason, as a colleague of ours, and just a wonderful family. And I actually got to know Coach Capel II as an assistant in Charlotte, the NBA franchise there, and what a great man he was, and so helpful to me in my career in those days back in the mid-2000s. So we certainly wish that family the best. They've got the ALS pins on, and we wish him all the best in his fight against that dreaded disease. Duke with the basketball and with the lead by 1. Bolden, little jump hook.
That's a nice job in traffic by Bolden.
Trying to
commits
defend
the foul there, and that's been part of the problem for Bolden. He makes one really good play and then makes a play where you've got to scratch your head. Don't want to pick up a foul 30 feet from the basket if you're one of the big guys, but here he does a nice job protecting the ball from Childress and then just rises up over Middaglu. Had great position inside and was able to capitalize.
Wake has not missed a free throw so far this afternoon, 5 of 5.
Of course, this Wake Forest team on pace to set the school record for free throws, record that was set back in the 60s. They're at almost 78% as a team.
That number is second best in the ACC, and now Crawford has 7 points. Duke is yet to go to the line in the first half. Tatum leaning in from the wing. Very kind bounce.
You know, I thought as soon as he leaned in, he's looking for the foul, he's going to miss that one, but nonetheless, that is some kind of play.
7 points now for Tatum. Middaglu.
And isn't it interesting that Dinos Middaglu, who has throughout his career been such a dangerous three-point shooter, has struggled from 3, particularly in ACC play. He comes into the game in conference play shooting only 6 for 25. He's missed both of his attempts today. I think if Wake is going to get out of here with a win today, Danny Manning needs his big guy to make a couple of threes.
Third year on the bench for Danny Manning as the head coach of Wake Forest. Foul on the inside.
Well, Arians is in there for his ability to shoot the 3. He's not in there for his ability to guard quick guys out on the perimeter.
Wake is just 1 of 6 from three-point distance, 5 of 11 from long range for Duke, and they couldn't get the inbounds pass to click. Arians is a graduate transfer, played at Milwaukee prior to coming to the Wake program. Collins, and he hits.
How strong and patient was that?
6 points for John Collins, coming off a 29-point performance at Clemson on Tuesday. Also had 10 rebounds in that game. He's got 12 double-doubles on the season. That leads the conference. How about Bolden forging his way to the rim?
That was a good cut by Bolden, but John Collins did a very poor job defensively that time. He just stood there after Bolden set the screen and went to the basket. Collins needs to play a little harder than that. This is okay, though.
Wide open. Another dunk for Collins. 8 points.
Mike Krzyzewski's sitting there wondering, wait a minute, how did we lose him under the basket?
Tough to beat Coach K at Cameron. He is 5-0-2 163 in this building.
Wow.
Duke's made its last 5 shots, Dan Bonner.
And this is where, if you're Wake Forest, you got to withstand this pressure by Duke. Particularly in this building, Duke is going to hit you with a big run at some point in time.
And Tatum has hit double figures with 10. Collins extends the range for the jumper.
And that's how you respond. You got to keep scoring. Now they've got to figure out some way to slow down this three-point attack.
Collins also with 10 points now. Allen to Bolden. Arians was defending.
Now Collins, we talked about his ability to operate in the post. He waits until the traffic goes away and then he knocks it down. But Tatum, my heavens, he does that. How are you supposed to?
You get a free small cheese pizza from Mellow Mushroom for every app download or update for those who already have the app. Mellow Mushroom Pizza is delicious, Dan.
Well, I won't disagree with you about that.
Not at all.
Absolutely correct.
I sampled that free cheese pizza in Virginia when we were there. Pretty good sampling between Collins and Tatum, both to double figures in the first half. Bolden is at the line for Duke. 6 points for Bolden.
Wake Forest has done a great job hanging in the game despite some pretty hot Duke three-point shooting, but now these last 3 minutes and 49 seconds, I think, could be a turning point in the game. The Deeks have to hang in there. Duke gets a big spurt before half, always makes it difficult in the second half in this building.
Crawford. Collins, they collaborate on the bucket.
That was some catch in traffic by Collins. Nice job attacking the basket by Crawford.
About Collins, Dan.
Wake
Double
drops,
figures?
yeah,
25 times?
Wake drops back into a 2-3 zone.
Fight for the loose ball. Childress diving to the court. Collins has the last 8 points for Wake. It's going to be against Collins as Bolden was defending and Kennard came over to help him out.
Collins does such a great job in the screen and roll situations or finding the open spot when one of his teammates drives to the basket. That was not a good pass, but he caught it very effectively. Now, down on the other end, he picks up the foul, pushes off with it, that off arm.
He does have 12 points to lead all scorers in the first half.
Now he's got to be careful he doesn't pick up a foul.
Up ahead now, Crawford. Easy jam. Tied at 40, 9 points for Crawford. The lead has changed hands 13 times in our game this afternoon. With just over 2 minutes to go, Allen tees it up. It's a three.
That's just great ball movement. Wake Forest scrambling in the zone defense, but there's just too many guys out there who can bury the three. Now, of course, if you're Duke, you want to keep the ball movement. Allen tries to penetrate and results in a turnover. When you're in a zone like that, that's an easy basket the other way. But then here, with some ball movement, you move the defense around. Allen is wide open, and he doesn't miss very many of those.
First basket of the game for Grayson Allen, who averages about 15.5 points per game. So Bolden picked up another foul then.
Allen has not appeared to me to be that really aggressively looking for his shot.
Time to look at the nation's top 25, brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas then.
So Notre Dame sneaks back in there. 6 ACC teams in the top 25. Virginia at number 14, despite their loss to Duke. Now, what a big win for Duke, going on the road, winning in Charlottesville, dominating the second half.
Duke scored only 21 points in the first half, but went on to win that game. It's also a big game tonight, Virginia and North Carolina. And that one at the Smith Center.
Those teams face one another twice within a 9-day span.
Less than a minute and a half to go in the first half. Duke by 1. 50% from long distance for Duke. Floater off the backboard and good for Matt Jones.
Jones does that very, very well. He got inside, and that wasn't luck that he banked that in. That was an intentional bank shot on his part. Great play going into the middle.
He's got 7 points in the first half, just below his average of 8 per game. Wake Forest with a 3, and Crawford glances into the stands at Cameron Indoor.
Well, Wake Forest, the way you hang in a game in Cameron Indoor Stadium is you make some shots, and this is Luke Kennard just backs off a little too much. Wake has not shot the ball effectively from 3 for the most part today, but that was a big one there by Crawford.
They are just 2 of 7, Dan, and Crawford has both of them. The Ram power play brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory. Ram. Last week in the biggest rivalry in college basketball, Duke's Jason Tatum etched his name into Duke, North Carolina lore. Montrous dunk over Kennedy Meeks. Freshman put up 19 points. They were all in the second half, along with 9 rebounds and 5 assists. The Blue Devils won 86-78. They own the bragging rights in the Battle of the Blues for now. That's our Ram power play. Ram, Trucks, Guts, Glory. Ram. Tatum on the bench right now, and we're tied at 45.
Well, how about his last 2 games against North Carolina and then against Virginia?
Season high 28 points, and then win on the road against Virginia on Wednesday.
And Giles picks up the illegal screen. That's a lot like the play they ran when they won the game at Wake Forest. Giles set a screen, Kennard got open. That time they called him for a foul.
Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we'll preview a new show from Raycom Sports in the ACC called A Cut Above. It's the legacy of New York City basketball. In the ACC, our own Corey Alexander sitting down with some of the greats to talk about basketball in New York. And we're headed to Brooklyn this year. Stay tuned for that on the Hardy's halftime report. And we'll have the results of our live vote. Who had the best career? Some of the greats who played for Wake and Duke. Collins with the quick shot. Tipped up and in.
He had to get it off quickly. He knew the shot clock was running down. But he was right there, so when he missed it, he's able to bounce back up quickly and tip it in.
16 points for Collins, 4 seconds to go. Here's Allen, trying to get that shot away. Goes up and under, and Allen is fouled on the drive.
And that's a huge foul because then they called that foul on Collins. That's the last thing that Danny Manning wanted, is his big guy to pick up a second foul with 0.7 seconds left in the half. Looks like Grayson Allen actually kicked Collins.
Allen is 81% from the free throw line. Just the 3rd free throw attempted by Duke in this half. 4 points for Allen, and there will be a timeout on the court with 0.7 seconds left in the half.
Boy, that's a tough call on John Collins in that particular situation.
Collins has played an outstanding half of basketball, though, Dan. 16 points, 7 of 10 from the floor. He's made a couple of free throws and 6 rebounds for John Collins, the sophomore.
Well, he's done just about everything you want a big guy to do. He's been able to maneuver inside and catch the ball effectively. There you get the tip in. Watch here as he gets the ball, and then once again on the inside. So most of his stuff has been around the basket. He's made a couple of jump shots under pressure, but he has been able to get loose inside. And that's something, you know, Mike Krzyzewski and his staff, they're going to have a discussion with their players about at halftime.
One more free throw for Grayson Allen. And he has tied the game with 0.7. So the clock runs out of the first half. No shot attempt by Wake. We are all tied up. 7 ties. 14 lead changes in the first half. The Hardee's halftime report is straight ahead from Cameron.
Food Lion. How refreshing.
Playing basketball here at Cameron Indoor Stadium for the second half. Durham, North Carolina on the ACC network. Wake and Duke. Rattles out for Tatum, but they're going to score the bucket. Basket interference on Wake.
Middleglue stuck his hand up through the basket there. Let's see if we can see it here. The ball's going up, and watches Middleglue. Yeah, he hits the net while the ball is on the rim. And by rule, that is basket interference.
So Tatum now with 12 points as he gets credit for that bucket to open up the second half. Collins with a turnaround. Very soft touch on the baseline.
Collins has been really, really good on the inside. You know, we said that Duke had to control the middle. Well, they haven't done that, and we said that Wake had to defend the three, and they've struggled from out there. Duke, but they're 8 of 15 now shooting threes.
Kennard, short. Collins the rebound. He's got 18 points. Leading all scorers this afternoon. We're involved right now in our 15th tie. Crawford cannot untie it. And here comes Allen on the run. Tried to kick it. Crawford, what a save to Collins.
And the great thing about that save is he turned around and looked and made sure he threw it to one of his own guys.
Arians, Middleglue.
That is a great job by Wake Forest.
Wake by 2.
This is a great job by Collins to turn around and look first. He finds, by Crawford, he finds Collins, and Arians penetrates in. The defense comes, and that's what you can do when you get out and play in transition and attack before the defenders can get ready.
Kennard before the defense was ready on the inbounds play, and he's into double figures with 10. And we're tied again for the 16th time this afternoon. Middleglue, quick turnaround. Out of bounds, it's off of Wake.
That's a little too quick for Middleglue. When he gets the ball inside against Tatum, he's got to use that power and take the ball to the basket. That little floater doesn't really help him. You got to attack Tatum.
Tatum driving. Collins came over. Jefferson kicked it out. That's for 3, and it's all net. Jackson with a 3.
Duke just put such pressure on you with their ability to shoot the 3. Now they got a mismatch inside. Jones is matched up against Collins.
Collins fouled on the shot attempt. Jones and Jefferson were there defensively.
You know, you get that attack inside and you give them a second chance and they make you pay for it. It's very difficult. A guy drives to the basket. Somebody's got to come and help. That's what Wake Forest did, but that allows Duke to get that offensive rebound. Great pass out by Emile Jefferson.
Collins at the line for Wake Forest.
Tom, one thing that we might point out is Mitchell Wilbekin for Wake Forest has not played in this game. He hurt his ankle in practice yesterday. There he is. He's sitting on the bench. He is a three-point shooter and a ball handler that Wake Forest could surely use in a game like this.
John Collins now, his 10th straight game with 20 or more points after those free throws.
Well, that's good help that time. Collins has been a little weak, or was a little weak in the first half on helping out against ball screens.
Shot clock to 5. Tatum. Collins another rebound. That's 8 in the game to go along with his 20 points. Childress got tied up by Jackson in a foul against Duke.
Boy, Childress is in attack mode 100% of the time. He's only got one speed, and that's all out.
Wake Forest, 11 of 11 from the line. Randolph Childress. Wake great as an assistant to Danny Manning. Randolph Childress is the all-time leader in made threes in Wake Forest history. He's watching his son at the free throw line. Just the first miss of the game for Wake from the stripe.
Brandon Childress is a 78% free throw shooter. We mentioned Wake, an outstanding free throw shooting team, and it's their free throws, I think, that have done a nice job keeping them in this game.
Kennard.
Boy, he's just so tough. He moves so well without the ball, and he can create space for himself in a crowd. And then, of course, he's deadly from out beyond the arc.
Kennard has 12 points. That one was blocked at the rim as Crawford had it turned away. Kennard to Jackson for the layup.
Now here you go. Here's another one of those situations where Wake has to respond.
This matches the largest lead of the game by either team. Wake unable to respond.
See, I think in a situation like that, you've got to let Collins touch the ball.
Jackson flips it up on the rim. 10 points for Jackson and back-to-back buckets. Duke watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app as we celebrate 35 years of bringing you ACC basketball. It will culminate this season at the 64th New York Life ACC Tournament, Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center.
This is a big possession for Wake Forest. The game can get away from a visiting team very quickly here.
Into Mitiglu. Kick out to Crawford. Short on the 3.
I think that's one that Mitiglu has to finish. He had a size advantage. There were no shot blockers around. He's got to finish that one at the basket.
Duke finishes. Matt Jones, the jumper.
You know, it's almost before you can blink your eyes. Suddenly they're ahead by 9 points.
10 points for Jones. 9-0 run.
I think Collins has to touch the ball.
Crawford got fouled.
The Duke Blue Devils doing a great job from beyond the arc. That's the story of the game so far. 5 different guys have made three-point baskets for the Blue Devils. They've been able to get out in transition. They've been able to continue to make the three-point basket, and they have got it. They've secured a couple of stops against this Wake Forest offense.
7 of 10 in the second half. They made 9 threes at Virginia, 9 today, Dan.
Well, 7 for 10 in the second half is only marginally better than they did in the first half. It is better. Now, and Grayson Allen is a guy, he has made 1 three-point basket today, but he's only got 5 points. He's not been a big factor in the game, at least in terms of his scoring, although he has done a nice job distributing the basketball.
Crawford now has 13 points with that free throw. He and Collins in double figures. Collins has 20. 4 Duke players are in double figures in this game, and as Dan mentioned, that does not include Grayson Allen. Kennard. Collins another rebound.
That was a break for Wake Forest. You don't see Kennard miss many of those wide open threes, but now that they've gotten a stop, you have to take advantage if you're the Deeks. Get the ball inside to Collins.
Wake Forest will keep possession as that goes out of bounds. Has not made a field goal, Dan, since the 18:35 mark of this second half, and trailing 63-55.
And as Trent Van Horn comes back in the game, we'll point out that he's in the game because Mitchell Wilbekin is not able to play with that ankle injury, and you got to get your backcourt guys a little bit of rest. So a key spot for Van Horn. They don't expect him to score, but he needs to handle the ball and play defense.
And that's a three for Wake Forest and Keyshawn Woods as he spun away from his defender.
Well, he's the guy we talked about before the game, the leading three-point shooter percentage-wise for Wake Forest. That's his first three-point attempt of the day, and he knocked it down.
He's got 11 points. Jackson was driving, lost it out of bounds. It stays with Duke.
And this is a situation where he just spins away from Jones. A little bit of contact there. But he's able to create an opening and take advantage of it. And Jones has played him very effectively on the defensive end. That's one reason why we haven't heard from him.
Tatum with a catch and fire. Tip back to Kennard.
See, there's another offensive rebound.
Jefferson got his defender in the air and lays it in.
It seems as if every time Duke has been able to get one of those offensive rebounds, they have been able to make Wake Forest pay for it.
8 points, Emil Jefferson. Trying to stay with Childress. Arians just beyond the free throw line, and he's fouled in the act of shooting.
Well, Jefferson is not a guy who is going to get you 25 points a game inside, but he makes a nice fake, sends the help defenders away, and then another nice fake, gets more off his feet and is able to convert. Just a very wily veteran on the inside. And that's a pretty solid line right there. 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Jefferson averages in double figures with 11 per game, almost 9 rebounds per game, as his teammate Grayson Allen comes in for Luke Kennard, who leaves with 12 points and a couple of threes. See some scores from other games in the ACC. Big day of action. It'll finish off tonight with North Carolina hosting Virginia, the team that Duke beat on the road at Virginia on Wednesday.
Well, we're into the final days, basically, of the ACC regular season. Teams are scrambling around for positioning in that ACC tournament and looking for maybe a NCAA at-large bid, and there's Grayson Allen. He said he hadn't been a big offensive factor. Well, he comes back in the game. He can be a huge factor anytime he decides he wants to be.
8 points now for Grayson Allen after that three. Duke by 9. 12:25 to go in the second half. Crawford stepping back. Long distance three, and Jefferson had the position for the board.
Again, that's a quick three with nobody handling the ball except one guy, and the result is an easy three for Duke.
"15 points for Tatum. Duke 11 of 21 from beyond the arc. Arians followed by Moore as he bends the rim.
That was an important basket, and Wake really has to dig in on the defensive end. They are not noted for their defensive play, but they've got to do something to turn this momentum around.
Allen leaves it for Jefferson for the jam. Arians straight away for three, and he was fouled on the play. Wow. Fouled by Jones. Arians a chance at a 4-point play.
Run to end that game, and that was the first game of what has now become a 6-game winning streak. I don't think there's any way to overemphasize the importance of that Duke comeback and win at Wake Forest.
That was January 28th, 85-83, the final. And the 5th win in a row in the series for Duke, as Arians finishes off a 4-point play. And he's got 5 points in the game for Arians. Again, Wake Forest has not won in this building since 1997, and a whistle stops play.
Now that's Arians trying to guard Tatum, and I think that anybody is going to be discouraged if you try to guard Tatum. He is playing as well as I think maybe anybody in the league right at the moment.
McClinton, the substitution for Arians. You mentioned Tatum, Dan, 15 points in the game to lead Duke in scoring and 6 of 10 from the floor. McClinton traveled, trying to corral that rebound after the Allen miss.
Grayson Allen takes the ball inside and draws a couple of defenders, and he is fired up about it. Now, I'm not sure that that's a good idea to be barking at the guy on the court. But of course, anything Grayson Allen does is, if somebody else did that, it wouldn't be a big deal. It's not a big deal for him either.
Spirited play between both teams, and why not? Jefferson, power move against Collins.
Jefferson has now made 6 of 7 field goal attempts. He's got 12 points, he's got 6 rebounds, he's got 2 assists, he's got 3 blocked shots. That's a heck of a line.
That is a robust stat line from Emile Jefferson.
When is the last time John Collins has touched the ball?
He's got it now, Dan. Over 2 defenders.
Okay, throw the ball to number 20. That should be your strategy.
22 points for John Collins. He's only 1 rebound away from his 13th double-double of the season. Tatum shook the defender. Allen smacked it off the glass. Childress trying to shoot over Tatum. The deflection went to Collins. Somewhat of erratic play from both teams, but that's an easy right-handed jam from Collins. Back-to-back buckets and 24 in the game.
A little bit of life by Wake Forest.
Timeout by Coach K and Duke, leading by 6.
And this is a situation here. Collins fumbles the ball, but nobody comes to help, and I'm not sure anybody can play him one-on-one. And then again, they just leave him. It was a scramble situation, and Jefferson had to go and help out in the corner, and as a result, Collins was open underneath.
Dan, Around the ACC is brought to you by Flonase Sensimist.
Well, that is a tough game for Clemson. They're another one of those teams trying to fight maybe to get into the NCAA tournament. They could have used a win on the road, but Miami continues to play well. Virginia Tech, who's also playing well. Louisville's a pretty tough place to play. That looks like a pretty good game, and things continue to go poorly for the Wolfpack of NC State.
North Carolina currently occupies the top spot of the standings with a 10-3 record. Duke right behind them at 9-4, along with Florida State and Louisville. Don't forget Tuesday, NC State and Georgia Tech on the ACC Network, and that's Kennard hanging and scoring.
And Kennard does such a great job hanging on the inside, making those little double pump baskets.
14 points for Kennard. 5 Duke players are in double figures in scoring. Childress. McClinton. Collins behind the back save. And now Woods. "13 points for Woods."
Well, that 9-0 run by Duke thus far has been the difference here in the second half. Wake Forest has finally got rolling again offensively, but they can't stop the Blue Devils down here. And here's Kennard. This is what we're talking about. He beats his man out on the perimeter, sees the help defense coming, is able to slide by, and then somehow hang in the air. And Woods, after that save by Collins on the second opportunity created by Wake Forest tracking down that rebound, he's able to score inside.
Kennard, such a consistent scorer. 26 times this season into double figures, and he hits again. And the chance of Luke go up at Cameron Indoor Stadium. 16 points for Kennard. Crawford knifing by the defense.
Nice job by Crawford to see that he had Tatum on him, and as good as Tatum has been, I don't know that he has the lateral quickness to stay in front of a guy like Crawford if Crawford is going to put his head down and go.
And now Crawford has 15 points. The difference is 6. Collins an easy rebound, and now he's got a double-double with that board.
Now the Blue Devils looking for a stop. Wake has gotten a couple here recently.
Collins working on Jefferson. The help came from Crawford. Shot clock at 10, Dan.
That's a nice job by Crawford. They created the mismatch with the screen on the inside, and then Crawford was very patient, waited till Collins came wide open and got him the ball.
John Collins has 26 points. He's got his double-double. This is off a performance on Tuesday at Clemson of 29 points. Jefferson missed. Ball was available. Foul is called.
Wow, Luke Kennard, we've talked about him. Duke was in a little trouble. They called a timeout, and they get the ball to Kennard, and then John Collins down on the other end.
Collins, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 11 of 14 from the floor for Collins, Dan.
He's made all 4 of his free throws. He's also got a steal. He's done everything out there. But here's a guy who's done everything recently for Duke, and that is Luke Kennard. He's been doing it all year. And he tracked down that offensive rebound and drew the foul when it looked like Wake Forest had a stop.
Kennard leads 5 players in double figures for the Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils
points.
In this half, Jackson has been the only guy who has come off the bench. They've only played 6 guys in this half.
Saw that Wake has made 7 of its last 9 attempts. Trying to hang around and trailing by 6. They have trailed by as many as 12 in the second half. This is Collins, deflected out of bounds by Emil Jefferson.
And Childress throws the ball inside to Collins, then he stands there and watch. He's got to get out of the way or go to the corner where Collins can throw him the ball. He gives Collins no choice except to take the ball into the teeth of the defense.
Jefferson now has 4 blocks in the game for Duke. Woods a little fall away. The tap by McClinton. The outlet to Kennard.
You know, Tom, we just got under the 7-minute mark in this game, and it's 81-75. Are you kidding me?
Duke shooting right below 60% for the game. Jefferson misses, close range, and Woods comes away with it.
Got a lot of time left in this game, but Wake Forest cannot allow Duke to get another little spurt here. Wake has to be able to score.
They try to give it to Collins. Tough catch. Double team. He got it back somehow, Dan.
Collins looks like he's dragging out there.
John Collins, Dan. Catch your breath. 28 points for the sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, he stays after it. Nice job by McClinton to tip the ball away from Tatum. He's the guy who made the play, but Collins, despite the fact that he looks a little winded, continues to fight on the inside.
Collins 6 times in ACC play this season, 20 or more points, 10 or more rebounds. John Collins. Allen hits it. It's a 3. Grayson Allen.
So he suddenly is another guy for Duke in double figures, and there is the response by Crawford on the other end. However, you're not going to come back in the game if you keep trading 3s for 2s.
Crawford now with 17 points. 5.5 minutes to go in regulation. Tatum around McClinton and fouled. Tatum to the free throw line for Duke.
We talked about the fact that Allen hasn't really been looking for his shot very much today, but he does a great job driving Childress back with the dribble and creating that open opportunity. Grayson Allen only 3 for 8 shooting, but all 3 have been 3-pointers. He's got a couple of free throws, so now he's got 11 points, also 6 assists in the game.
So they're attending to Emil Jefferson.
Now the rule is if you're bleeding, you've got to come out of the game until the blood stops, and they give the trainer 20 seconds to stop the bleeding.
Jahlil Okafor has come to watch this game along with Tyus Jones, national champs 2015 in Indianapolis with their win against Wisconsin. They beat Michigan State in the national semis that year. I know, Dan, because I was courtside, and what a run for that Duke team in 2015. Lucas Oil Stadium back in 2015. National championship number 5 for Coach K. 17 points for Tatum.
Tom, you talked about the fact that Wake has shot the ball very well here of late. There's a foul on the inside against Tatum, and most of the time when a team shoots the ball as well as Wake has shot it recently, they close the gap in the game, but Duke has responded. They're shooting it just as well.
That is the 4th on Tatum, so you'll watch him exit the game as Jackson replaces him. Tatum leaves the game, Dan, with 17 points. 3 of 6 from long distance for Tatum. Duke has shot it so well.
Let's
50% from
Let's see if they can get Mitiglu down on the inside. Without Tatum, Wake ought to have an advantage in there.
It was knocked away by Kennard. Jerry Heater was right on top of it, and he assesses the foul to number 5 in white.
Dinos Mitiglu, 6'10", is able to catch the ball inside against Kennard. He's got a 5 or 6 inch height advantage in there, and also Mitiglu big and strong on the inside. Now he's got to convert from the line.
82% on the season for the junior from Greece. Kennard, his 2nd personal foul. Kennard's 18 points leads the way for Duke.
The only problem is now if Wake continues to play man-to-man, either Collins or Mitiglu are going to have to guard a three-point shooter, and Duke can take advantage of that matchup.
Other scores from ACC play today at the bottom of your screen. Tonight, North Carolina hosting Virginia. This is Kennard. A 2-point basket for Kennard. Saw the officials point down for a 2-point basket. So 21 points for Kennard. Crawford stepping back, grazing the rim.
See, I just don't think that's a good shot in that particular sequence. You have the advantage with Mitiglu down on the inside. Collins has been outstanding. I think your big guys have to handle the ball. That's an offensive foul. Now, what do we got here? Oh, we got a foul on Childress. Childress thought he got fouled. Let's see what happens. I don't know what to make of that. Neither does Danny Manning.
The emphasis this year, Dan, is that you're entitled to your cylinder.
Well, you can't.
Verticality,
well,
but
you
as a defender, you can't step into it.
Childress had his arm on Jackson the entire time. You're not allowed to do that.
Jackson the miss, Mitiglu the clearance. Crawford just staring at the rim the whole way.
He got to throw the ball to Collins.
Now wait a minute. We're going to step aside for just a moment. They're talking about whose possession it is. We'll show you when we get back. Kennard knocking down that 3. Our action starts at noon on Tuesday, March 7th. And the ACC Network will cover all 14 games, including the championship in prime time on Saturday night at the Barclays Center. All right, let's go back to just a moment ago prior to the breakdown.
Wow, Crawford drives the ball to the basket, and the question, who hit it last? It looked from that replay as if it was Matt Jones that hit it out of bounds. And that's what the officials decided was indeed the case. And so Wake is going to keep the ball. 23 seconds left on the shot clock.
Just under 4 minutes to go in regulation. Their regular season meeting in Winston-Salem. A 2-point win for Duke thanks to a Luke Kennard 3.
So here's Collins mismatched against Grayson Allen. You have to be able to find it.
Mitiglu misses. Collins got tangled up with Jackson.
I think that foul's on Allen. You know, Allen doing the best he can. He just grabs him and throws him aside. That's a nice job by Collins getting position even against a smaller guy.
So Grayson Allen to the bench. He's got 11 points. He's made 3 3-point baskets on 6 attempts. John Collins just having a monster game for Wake. despite that miss. Woods able to gather.
Wake is in a situation here where they almost have to score.
And they do! Brandon Childress, the freshman from Winston-Salem with a 3. He's got 7 points, and it's a 5-point game, 3:30 to go.
And that's now 10 offensive rebounds for the Deacs. We've been talking about Duke and their offensive rebounding. The Deacs have picked up the pace in that situation in the last few minutes. Van Horn trying to put defensive pressure against Duke, but that far away from the basket, not very advisable. There, Woods does a nice job tracking down the offensive rebound. Nobody guarding Childress. They're worried about Collins inside, and Childress makes him pay.
It's Middleglue coming back into the game for Wake Forest.
And again, we'll point out that Van Horn is playing in the game because Mitchell Wilbekin cannot, injured an ankle.
First miss from the line in the game for Duke. Wilbekin, who is certainly a three-point threat on the bench with that ankle injury, has not seen time today against Duke.
Tatum is now back in the game.
Collins with a turnaround, and he got fouled.
Wow, there was a switch out there, and Kennard got stuck against John Collins. And that is a nice job by Wake Forest to find the mismatch, and Collins, despite the defensive pressure, is able to get it down. That's not too bad, huh?
Man, Dan, how about the last 2 games? 59 points, and he's got a free throw coming. Now 5 of 6 from the line for Collins, and 31 points to lead everybody.
Really nice job by Wake Forest battling back after they got down.
Wake Forest has lost 5 in a row in the series, 17 in a row inside Cameron Indoor Stadium. Jefferson attacks the glass.
Nice job by Jefferson to find the open spot after the dribble penetration drew the defenders.
14 points, Emil Jefferson. Childress got it to fall.
You know, we're just going back and forth here. Whatever you can do, I can do better. Boy, both of these teams in total attack mode. Here Jones drives the ball to the basket, draws Collins, and then Jefferson steps into the open spot. Now Childress here, he takes it in against Jefferson. He just jumps right up into him. How that ball went in the basket, I have no idea.
Ten points for Childress. Dan, it's a 1-point game. Duke led by 12 earlier in the half.
As entertaining a game as you'll ever want to see.
Kennard, up and under.
You know, Collins went for the block, and he was expecting Kennard to shoot that with his left hand, but Kennard switched back to his right. We mentioned Kennard equally adept with either hand.
Childress, Collins, and Kennard, and he saved it on the baseline.
You know, that was a heat check there, and I'm not sure they needed it at that particular point in time.
Kennard's parents, Jennifer and Mark, in attendance, and their son has 23 points. Duke by 3 and in possession of the ball. Allen, Kennard gave up the shot. Van Horn the rebound.
Big rebound.
Jones couldn't connect. Crawford all the way, and he lays it in. And a timeout taken by Danny Manning. 19 points for Crawford. It's a 1-point game. Duke in front.
You know, these guys are just attacking the basket. Watch Kennard, he's coming down the lane. Collins is going to go for the block. But he switches hands, and then Crawford with the answer right here, driving the ball.
His other former teammates from the 2015 national title team. This guy knows about a national title back in '88 for Kansas. In fact, he played against Coach K in the mid-'80s, Dan. They split those two meetings. 1-point game. 1:10 to go. Duke with the ball.
Big possession here.
Childress was guarding Allen. It's a third on Childress.
That's going to send Grayson Allen to the free throw line.
He's made both of his attempts from the line of the game as Middleglue comes in. Wake Forest, by the way, Dan.
It's a 1-on-1 though, Tom.
Yeah, 1-on-1 situation. Hasn't won on the road against a ranked opponent since 2010. Allen the miss. And Collins is there to secure it. Less than a minute to go. Duke by 1. Wake with the ball.
There's the mismatch inside. Allen matched up against Collins.
Watch the shot clock. Down to 5. Crawford driving. Crawford can't lay it in. Tatum had it knocked away by Crawford, and a foul is called.
Crawford was able to get into the lane, but he's got to extend just a little too far and can't knock that layup in the basket. Then he picks up the foul. Still a 1-on-1.
Tatum at the line has made both of his free throw attempts this afternoon.
Now, if you're Wake Forest, you got to block out. If he misses this, you want to make sure you secure that defensive rebound. Duke has been pretty adept at getting the offensive rebounds. They've got 9 on the game, and you don't want to give up one here.
19 points for Tatum. Timeout, Duke. Wake will have the ball. Duke leads by 3 in the league, and he's the best three-point shooter by percentage in the ACC.
And most of the time, your high percentage field goal shooters are inside players. All right, now he's a high percentage field goal shooter. And we've been talking throughout the second half about how Wake Forest has missed a couple opportunities to go into Collins. I don't know that in this situation you can run so much time off the clock while you're looking for Collins. If you can get it to him quickly, do it. Wake does not need a three-point basket here, but they need to move quickly. You'd certainly take a 3. Duke with that little pressure.
20 seconds to go. The miss from Crawford. Jefferson got the rebound. 14.1 seconds left.
The last 2 layup attempts by Crawford have been very difficult shots. This is a very nice job by Tatum, and then Collins just can't get in position for the rebound. Nice job. But look at Jefferson move on the other side of Collins to block him out. Collins had the inside position, but Jefferson was able to move around and block him out.
First trip to the line in the game for Jefferson. John Collins, 31 points, a career high, and Duke as a team, 10 of 12 from the line.
Jefferson only a 59% free throw shooter. But what would you expect with the kind of game that Jefferson has had?
15 points for Jefferson. One more free throw.
15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocked shots.
Both of those free throws all net for Jefferson. Timeout on the court. The lead now 97-92 after the free throws by Amile Jefferson.
And Duke calls the timeout, and they are going to make a substitution. They're going to put Jackson in the game. If you're the Duke Blue Devils right now, your primary concern is defending the three. So Jackson going in, I think Tatum is coming out. You get a little more quickness out there on the perimeter, and you defend the three.
Well, Dan, coming up Tuesday at 8 p.m., Dennis Smith at NC State. Travel to Atlanta to take on Josh Pastner's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech, they've been tough at home. They had a win against North Carolina, Florida State, Notre Dame all at McCamish Pavilion, and that's what lies ahead for NC State. That is on the ACC Network, Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
That's a dangerous NC State team because they can score, and Georgia Tech, you know, they had themselves in pretty good position. It appeared a couple of weeks ago for a possible NCAA tournament bid. Now they got some catching up to do.
10 seconds to go for Wake.
Got to go quickly.
Woods. His three is too strong. And run down by Jackson. There are 4 seconds on the game clock.
Boy, another case in a season-long case of what might have been for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. They did a great job. They were down by, what, 10 here in the second half? And they came back and actually took the lead. Collins with a tremendous game.
Wake did lead 51-49. They had closed the gap to 93-92 to just 1. Wilbekin was unavailable today.
And at 93-92, they had Crawford driving down the lane for a layup, a tough shot, but it was too hard. It spun off the board, and they have not been able to score since.
Duke made 13 threes in this game. Final seconds. Crawford lays it in, and that'll count. But it will be 99-94, the 6th in a row in the series for Coach K against Wake Forest. For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, check out theACC.com. Our next telecast on most of these ACC Network stations, Tuesday at 8, NC State and Georgia Tech. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
Hey, I got you. Or I got me. Thank you. Yep. I see Mr. Evans.